Show, Peter G Show, Peter G Show, Peter G Show. Divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad. Peter G Show.
Are you ready? Well, are you? Are you ever ready? Being ready is good. I'm ready. I like it. Sunday night. Here we are again, just you, me, and a couple of my closest friends. My 3 million friends. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. As always, we take a minute to let people catch up, catch on. It may not look like a bunch of people are looking, but I promise you, they're looking. Speaking of looking, how you looking? Yeah? The week just goes by. I'm just like, boom, here we are again. And the week was kind of interesting for me. I mean, I don't know. We're going to touch on that. But first, I have to go through my thing here, because the week could not go by and or start if it wasn't for my beloved Bolt Energy. As always, it's me and Bolt Energy right here together. Why Bolt Energy, you ask? Well, that's a no-brainer. What did I tell you before? Tell you every week. No preservatives. Go find that in an energy drink. You're not going to find it, so let me, once again, save you a bunch of time. For those of you who are like, healthy fanatics and all that, and, you're kind of on the cusp of, energy drinks, should I or should I not? Why not? No preservatives. That's one step closer to the cleaner than clean. My Bolt Energy people are workout fanatics. It's also enriched with antioxidants and vitamins. Tastes good, too. That's a real big deal. Tastes good. Hey! Saying hey to my people out there. Bolt Energy, electrify your senses. Go out and get you some. If you can't find Bolt Energy, because they are new and they are spreading, go to www.drinkboltenergy and ask them, say, hey, where can I get this Bolt Energy? And they'll talk to you. They'll tell you where you can find Bolt Energy. You're doing yourself a favor, folks, and tell them the Peter G Show. Tell them the Peter... Sorry. Oh, give me the finger now. So I got tongue-tied. Tell them the Peter G Show sent you. Peter G from the Peter G Show sent you. Let's make it real personal. Anyway, Bolt Energy. Let me pop open a can. Love my Bolt Energy. Hang on here. Woo! Let's go. Salute. I like it. Anyway, I'm glad for those of you who are tuning in, for those of you who are going to tune in, and for those of you who have been tuning in. I can't do it without you. Speaking of can't doing without you, also the watch parties. Hey, bro. The watch parties. Very important. Watch parties. Whether you're seeing this in a rerun, rebroadcast, or you're watching live, you hit the share button. Share it with your peeps. Let them know that you're watching the Peter G Show, Life with Peter G, because we talk about stuff that I feel is important to you and life. It's just life, right? Problem is, everybody's throwing up all over Facebook. I'm just bringing a few things to people's attention, and people are too shy to call in, whereas you're even anonymous, which is the greatest thing of all, as opposed to when you're talking about the problems you're having, your name is right there. I don't get it. Everybody tells me how scared they are to call in. Nobody's listening anyway. Just me and 3 million of my closest friends. It's no big deal. And you could be helping not only yourself, or not helping, yeah, but you're sharing stories that people can relate to, and it's very important because for those who don't have the oomph to talk about things and they hold it all inside, and that could be really damaging. And I just believe in talking about stuff. I've always been one of those guys that's like, get it out. It's really important. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing great. Every day you wake up is a good day, even at your worst day. We talk about all that stuff too. But one thing I'm going to talk about is, the things are changing here with the show. I've been having trouble through the last quarter of last year, 2019, with the screen sharing for all the different pages that we were promoting to on Facebook. The Facebook has changed all their privacy acts, and it's screwed me up terribly. I wasn't counting on this. I'm doing it in a very unorthodox way as it is. Hey to Ventura. Anyway, we've been streaming from my public Peter Gisellas page, which then shares to the official Peter G Show page and all the other pages. But the biggest problem I've been having with Facebook changing this stuff, somehow or another, they don't think they're not allowing me to share within my own realm. My own pages, they're worried about my own privacy. And they've cut the third-party provider that I have from allowing me to share to my original, the main page. You should be watching the Peter G Show from the official Peter G Show page. A lot of you aren't, though, because I've created all these pages, and whatever one you tapped into, that's the one you're at. I had to do that because Facebook is a pain in the ass. But I love Facebook. What's a pain in the ass? It's kind of a love-hate. The thing is, come February, I'm going to start streaming directly from the official Peter G Show page. Now, that may... we don't know yet what's going to happen here, how it's going to work. We're still finagling things. That may cut off the public Peter Gisellas page. Not sure. But I know that I need to stick to my guns and go back to the original page and see where we can go from there. And if it continues to fail us, then we're going to... I guess the problem is I'm a creature of habit. I'm trying to keep things simple, stupid. There's all these other alternatives I can do to make this show. We could stream to YouTube Live at the same time and, Instagram Live. I can do all that, but I have not wanted to. I've wanted to keep it right here on Facebook and not change the way we do things. So that would be a major overhaul, and I just don't feel like doing it. It's real simple. I don't feel like doing it. I feel I'm happy enough within the Facebook home and all you guys, because it's very personal to me, because this is how we do. This all started from Facebook. And one day there's going to be a great story out there, and it's all going to be about my Facebook people. It'll be in the book. But anyway, so there's going to be some major change. So I'm just telling you, take notes, because come February, if you don't see me every Sunday, something's wrong, because I'm not going anywhere. And if I do, something happens to happen to me, you'll find that out too. I don't think I'll be big news, but you'll find out. But providing I wake up every day, every Sunday night, I'm going to be on this thing somewhere. And I'm hoping that you guys will stick with me and make the effort, because I know a lot of times you have to lay things right out in front of somebody's face to make them, to make it easy. It's like, okay, just hit the button, you're on. But Facebook's a pain in the ass. I can't say it enough. Love them, but they're a pain in the ass. And they've just made it harder because of all this privacy stuff that's going on. So for some reason, I'm paying the price for it. Therefore, we are paying the price for it, because there's some, once in a while I have some pretty good jokes. Once in a while. Can't guarantee every day. This weekend was, if you were in music, and I came from a whole music background, the NAMM show, which is this big musical convention from every instrument maker in the world, comes to Anaheim, California, and displays their products. And along with their products, from drums to guitars to kazoos, comes musicians that endorse them. The biggest of the big are out there walking around amongst, you can see your biggest heroes hanging out. They're doing shows. They're demonstrating guitars. There's parties afterwards, and I didn't go this year. There's too much going on. I had to focus on me. I used to live for that, where a lot of musicians, they live for it. People will travel from afar to come to this convention. And I had to step away a little bit, because this is a completely different thing. One day, maybe I'll be going in there with a camera crew, and then we'll just be talking to everybody, but I'm not there yet. Not right now. We're focusing. Hey! Look at that. It's people popping on. My silent community. Again, there is a phone number, and I'm going to start getting on all of y'all about this, because it's gotten worse instead of better for people calling in. 818-259-7983. It's gotten worse. At the beginning, people were having the, calling in. I don't care. Just call, say, hey, tell me you like me. Tell me what my problem is, or what you think my problem is. Take a number. The list goes on and on and on. But I'm all game. Whatever's on your mind. That number is there, and it was there for a purpose, because I said, hey, I want to have a call-in show. Not I have a number that's posted behind me that just for looks. Don't need it. But, again, it's all up to you guys. It's really not that hard to do. And, you can talk to the other people that were talking on the phones. Once you get on it, you forget all about what's going on. There's nobody listening anyway. Just 3 million of my closest friends. Hey, y'all. Okay, let's move on. But again, Facebook, Peter G Show, the official Peter G Show page. You better start gearing up and liking that page so it'll notify you if you're not on it. That's all I can tell you. And then when we get from when it overflows, we'll figure it out from there. But it's a work in progress. And don't forget the watch parties, all right? Even during the reruns, I don't know. I get some people that say, yeah, lurkers, exactly. I get some people that say, I can't, it says that the watch party's over. You can still watch it. All you got to do is click it. It replays. Replay it, and while you're replaying it, hit the share so people will know that you're doing this. And again, yes, am I talking about this a lot? Yes, I am, because new people are coming on all the time, and I want them to know too. So for those of you who are my solid community, I apologize. I know you already know this, but come on. We're barely scratching the surface, and that's why we do this public service announcement. I would call, but my phone, and I only have one screen, so I'm reading whatever screen you guys are on, which is the Peter Gisela screen. I would call, but my phone has no number 9. Get the hell out of here. It must be one of them redneck phones. All right, excuses. Another. This excuse was brought to you by. All right, no, you're not on that page. That's weird. I'm seeing I got 2 pages I can read. All right, anyway, who cares? But the bottom line is, I'm very thankful that you're here. And tonight I don't have any guests on, and I did it for a reason, because I get to thinking after the show's over, we talk about things and how we felt things went, and because we never know. It's a crapshoot. Live is a crapshoot. Had a bunch of freezes last week. That's another thing I'm battling. In February, I think we might be expanding on that, and thumbs up. But I'm at the mercy of several things: satellite transmissions, Facebook, you guys not calling. Even though I know you got a ton of things on your mind because you write me all friggin' week long. It's like, I don't get it. I wanted to call, but I just didn't want to call. Makes no sense. But show must go on. So anyway, last week, Walmart edition. Well, we had Southern Fried Sunday last week, but it wasn't crazy Southern Fried. No, I ain't going that crazy. I mean, that's funny, but I don't know. I think life will take its own course as things go on. The more people that tune in, the more the odds somebody's going to call in, and we don't know what we're going to get. And I'm willing to take whatever we'll get, and we'll deal with it when the time comes. But anyway, where am I? I'm right here. So the official page, that's that. Couple of Gulf Coast news items that made the national news. I thought it was very, very cool. Well, one was cool, one was not cool. Lo and behold, I'm watching the news. It made national news, Pensacola, Florida. One of my faves. A kid that plays football at a high school called Catholic High High School. They I guess it was one of those feel-good moments or whatever, but the team won, or he scored a touchdown, and after he did that, he went running up into the stands with flowers, and he gave them to his grandmother with some pink flowers, because she was battling breast cancer, and she apparently raised him his whole life. And again, another child-parent thing. Grandmother's raising child, but she was the one who obviously properly raised this boy, because he was very appreciative, and his grandmother was everything to him. And it's like, you can't, I couldn't help it. I stopped and I was like, wow, strong. You go, Grandma. Because, somebody's got to do it. Again, you have kids, you got to take responsibility for them, which now I'm going to start talking about that shit and I'll get all riled up again. But it's the truth. The truth. And the grandmother raised him. Now, I don't know what the circumstances were, but she was there. She raised him, and that boy was he didn't even go cheer his teammates on. He went running up because if it wasn't for that grandmother who made sure that boy went to school and got a decent education, put him in a private school at that, and something was going on right to where that was more important than high-fiving his teammates. And I like it. That was in Florida. And that was on the national news. Also, on the other end of the spectrum, in Okaloosa County, which is not too far from where Pensacola, a 14-year-old girl was she was being verbally and physically abused by her 47-year-old stepfather, and nobody believed her. So she bravely figured out how to rig up a camera and set it up in her room and taped it, him just screaming at her and threatening her and choking her dog and all that kind of shit, and they busted his ass. And they need to bust his ass a lot harder too. So brave girl, brave girl, and smart girl. Hopefully they friggin' kick his ass. But that was over in the Gulf Coast too, and that was national news, so it wasn't like local. That's serious business. Again, messing with a child, 14-year-old child. I don't care how tall you are, how heavy you are, or this and that, you're a child. That stuff pisses me off. But that's what happened over there. Dashka, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? This week blew by way too quick for me. Frustrating. Can't get enough done. I was talking to a friend of mine about time. He seems to can't keep up with time. I'm having a hard time with it also. Can't get enough done. Either way. Last week, I'm going to talk about can I start talking about that now? Okay. 818-259-7983 if anybody wants to break in because they have something they want to get off their chest. I will stop what I'm talking about to talk to you. Okay? But it takes not that hard to do. 818-259-7983 to call in and talk to me. It's not that hard to do. What else you going to do? Listen, otherwise I'm going to go on to talk about last week because there's something I want to get off my chest. But I can do that anytime. If you're here listening, that phone number is for you. We purposely got that phone number so we can hear you. And I invite anybody to call who's got to say anything they want to say. I don't care if you tell me I suck. I don't care if you tell me, I do care if you tell me I love you. I love that. I like that a lot more. Got a joke? Something going on in your life and it pisses you off and you just want to air it out. Believe me when I tell you, you let some steam off the pressure cooker, you never know. Very, very fulfilling. It's like screaming off the top of a mountain. You're here at Peter G. Mountain. And it's free. It's free. Anyway, until somebody decides, it'd be a nice surprise, too. 818-259-7983. I'm listening. Last week, we did a show with Nicole, who... That was another 7-month ordeal of trying to get her on the phone because back in June 25th, show number 24, I did a show with Nicole's father. The name of the show was called Baby Daddy 3 Mamas. I felt like, welcome to Maury Povich. It just, I didn't know what to call it because it was the truth. He had 3 mamas, now he has 4 kids with three women, 2 with one, and then one with the other 2 each. And he came on the show because I was watching him screaming and crying and just really, again, the throwing up all over Facebook. And I'm going, all right, you're a perfect candidate for my show. You need to come on the show, and instead of throwing up on there, let's do it over the air. You're anonymous. You're just so and so, and his name was Jeff. Nobody knows who else that is. And he was cool enough to do it. And I had him on the show, so that show went by in the summertime. Well, one of the daughters, who's a adult now, caught wind of the show, because we're that popular, folks, and was watching, and then all of a sudden people are chiming in. I had probably a half a dozen people from his arena calling, just texting me and instant messaging me at 3 o'clock in the morning, and this sucks or he's a liar and all this kind of crap. And I'm going, hey, the man came on the show. He fessed up and said, he's an idiot. He's made a lot of stupid mistakes. What am I supposed to do? I can't beat him up anymore. He sounds like he's beating himself up. What he does in the future is another story. All right, fast forwarding 7 months down the road. We had Nicole last week from Georgia, 26-year-old Nicole, come on because he wasn't around he wasn't around for her as she was growing up, and still isn't. And I don't care how old you are, that stuff leaves scars. Because you could be 25 years old, you could be 50-year-old, and there's still an inner child in you. And that stuff hurts. And, and some people let it destroy them and just keep on dwelling on it. And some people can say, hey, it sucks, and I think about it once in a while, but, life goes on. It's just like losing somebody you love to death. I mean, somebody passes away, it's like, what are you going to do? You can let it eat you up, and it does. And even when you learn how to move on with it, it's very emotional. I mean, but you learn how to deal with it. So that was the thing. We talked to Nicole, tried to let her talk about it, tried to let her realize what's going on with her, and I'm hoping because she wrote a few pieces this past week that were very positive. In other words, she's starting to see the light. I hope you can hold on to that light. Those words that you wrote, Nicole, if you're listening, and even if you're not, you'll hear them someday later, but you need to take those words that you wrote and print them out and post them where you can see them so you don't forget. Again, easier said than done just to brush it off and say, well, the hell with him, because, at the end of the day, he's still your blood, he's still your father, but some people just aren't worth worrying about, and I'm not saying you have to write him off. I was hoping that somehow or another, he would have made the effort after he did all this apologizing and admitting. I thought he'd be big enough to I'm not saying he had to make up. You can't make up that lost time. But I had hopes back then that he would have at least contacted you and said, hey, I'm sorry. That's all. Real simple. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I still got problems. I'm trying to work through them, but I'm sorry. And then a phone call, you can have a casual conversation. I mean, forgiving is one thing. You don't have to forget, but you can forgive. It takes a really big person to forgive, too. And try to, I have a hard time with that. I really do. I carry things with me. I do that. I'm not a duck. Things don't roll off my back that easily, and that's been one of my flaws. Because a lot of people used to look at me and go, dude, why do you care? Who cares? Let it go. And I'd stew. And I'd get over it eventually, but I'd be wasting my own time. And there we are with the word time again. I hate it. I'm getting better at it. Hope I, can get better at it before, it gets too late. But I'm working on it. We're all a work in progress, we all have our flaws and our, some people are really good at that stuff. They can just let things slide off and don't care. And some people, I'm very emotional. I care. Sometimes way too much. But anyway, we spoke to Nicole. And after the show was over, it bugged me because I had, we do a lot of shows. I got a lot of stuff going on in my life. When the show's over, not only do we keep working, but I have a lot of things. There's a lot of things that went on in my life this past year as well. And I had to go back, though. I actually sat down and had them dig up the show. I had to go back and go watch June 20... Where is it, guys? June 25th, 1919, show 24, Jeff, Baby Daddy, Three Mamas. I had to go watch that show. And I sat and I watched that whole show from beginning to end. It was an hour show. My show. Because I couldn't remember exactly. I wanted to see where I went wrong. Did I help? Did we talk enough about what needs to be done? And I listened to the show. And what am I supposed to do? The man, and he is a man, was so apologetic. Hey, whoever's thumbing up at me, thumbing up. I love you all. The show, I don't think I could have done too much better. I mean, I can always do better, but the thing was, the guy, it wasn't like I was having to squeeze him to tell him, say you're sorry. Put him in a headlock. He was very, he the whole show, he knew. I listened to the show. Go watch the show. What I should have done was I should have rerun the show before the live show last week. So that way y'all could watch that show if you cared. And then we talked to Nicole, the daughter of the father who isn't much of a father. It made perfect sense. He's going to try to do better. Well, I don't know. He didn't do that much better. I'd love to know why. And I really would love to get him back and Nicole together on the phone to see what the hell went wrong. I've got mail? Oh, thanks. Any good? Oh, man. Why are you telling me this now? I'm trying to stay focused. Okay, so, see, now I just lost my train of thought. Thanks, Paul. So it bothered me because now I'm going, where did I go wrong? What is so hard about making a phone call to your daughter, even though you're screwed up and you realize you're screwed up? And what is so hard about, and then she said she tried to reach out for him and he don't want to talk to her. I want to know what that reason is, because he's trying to make it seem like there's a reason she's calling and it's not a good reason. Somebody's, twisting the truth here. We need to get to the truth. We really do. And if we don't, we don't. She's going to be okay. She told me she's going to be okay, and I believe her. You need to be okay. Because if he doesn't want to talk to you, and I can't make this happen, he's got to want to make it happen too. Oh, on top of that last week's show, this is what really bothers me. This is probably the biggest thing that bothered me. Apparently, he was watching the show. I don't know how he got wind of it or whatever, but he's watching the show under an alias profile, a woman's profile. And it's like, oh my God, really? You're that friggin' pussified that you can't go and you got a fake name? Can you wait on that, please? Can you wait? Can we talk about that off the air? Paul, he's anyway. Okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted again. Can we focus? Okay, because he lies. All right, okay, but that's the whole thing. It's like, I want to get to the bottom of it. What is the purpose of that? What does that solve? It is so stupid. It's so stupid because he lies. For what? What's the big deal? Am I the only one getting upset? Grown man hiding behind a woman's fake profile. I got to know why. And then he was typing up a storm while we were doing this show. He or she, whoever, Heather Thomas, the AKA baby daddy behind a woman's name, Heather Thomas. Then the other mama of the child is on watching the show, his most current baby mama of 2 children. And I don't know what her take is on all this. I think she bitched me out because I swore a couple of times, and she said, you got a foul mouth for an attorney. And it's like, if you're talking to me, number one, I'm not an attorney, and yes, I got a foul mouth when I want to be. It adds color, kind of gets the point across. But I haven't swore at all so far. So anyway, I don't know what her take was. But the bottom line is, why are you hiding behind a woman's profile? That right there is showing stupidity. More stupidity. And he clearly admitted he knows he's done a lot of stupid shit. Well, he's continuing. Maybe there's something wrong with him upstairs. You know what I mean? Who knows? You can't hold that against him if you're just nuts. The man's nuts. Grab him. Okay. Anyway, the jokes are free. So, I don't know what to say. So so he's texting, he's writing on the screens, and I mean, there were so many comments going by. You call him, and it was like, call him up and ask him. And it's like, then I started getting upset because I said, I'm not calling him. If he wants to call, he can call in while I had Nicole on the phone. But he didn't call. So the show's over, and I didn't have time to read all those texts because we have many different screens, and I'm focusing on what I'm doing right now. By the time I went to them, they were gone. They disappeared. He deleted them all. I didn't even know you can do that. He deleted all those texts, and all of a sudden the profile disappeared too. And it's like, what a wuss. Anyway, I just don't get it. And this is, this is human nature. These are people that are, and this is why I'm trying to stop this. And let me tell you why. Like, I don't care how nuts he is. I don't care. He can be as nuts as he wants. He can lie as much as he wants. The problem I have is there's children in the mix. That's the problem I have. That's a real big problem because this shit is trickling downhill. And that bothers me a lot because if any of you guys know me, I'm all about don't screw up your kids. You want to be screwed up, go, whatever. But see, even, go do whatever you want to do, basically, but don't let it affect the kids. Don't be talking to them like adults because they don't understand, even when they're shaking their heads, yes. Don't be trying to put guilt trips on them. You need your head slapped. But I'm all about the kids. Kids don't deserve that. Let children be children. It's getting hard. It's getting hard for a kid to be a kid. Our whole way we conduct, life nowadays, it's just hard. So that kind of shit really pisses me off. Sorry. Anyway, hey, did I tell you 818-259-7983? Anybody want to add to anything? All you got to do is call me. Add to my story, anything. You pick up the phone, you make the phone call, I say, hey, and just talk to me so you can see. The problem is when you guys are typing on the screen, not everybody can see what you're typing because there's several different pages that we're on. So you're not, you know what I mean? Share. So that way everybody can get the big picture. It's real simple. You need to share your thoughts. So if anybody has any thoughts on this, 818-259-7983, it doesn't matter. Just call in. You could say you're Joe. I don't care. Ma or Pa. Hang on now. I'm doing all the talking once again, and I'm thirsty. I love doing the show, though. I can't wait till we get back to bigger and better. I want guests sitting next to me. That's a whole nother thing we're talking about because I used to do that, and then we kind of cut back and went for the live streaming. As we change formats and get into February, hopefully by March, I might start having live guests next to me. Not sure. Takes a whole lot more effort, planning, time. But, I thought having guests over the phone would be fine too. But once in a while, I like to just have the show all to my lonesome so you guys can call in and talk to little old me. I want you to call in and tell me what's on your mind. You're watching. I know shit's going through your mind. You're showing me right here. And then as the week goes by, it progresses, and people watch the reruns. And again, share. And don't forget, folks, it's Bolt Energy that's allowing me to sit right here and do this. I could not do without Bolt Energy. So ask for it in stores. Tell them Peter G from the Peter G Show sent you. Remember, no preservatives. Gotta love it. So that was a big deal. I had to go back and spend my time because it bugged me. I still have a conscience. That's my problem. Once again, getting too involved. I had a conscience, and that stuff was bothering the shit out of me. I had to go back, go digging through, and told them to pull up, and it's not that hard. Everything is on YouTube. So it was real simple, actually. It wasn't even that hard. But the thing was, it said, go find me the show. Go look on YouTube and find the show, and the show was Baby Daddy 3 Mamas, whatever. Sounds so damn trashy, but that's all I could think of at the time when we named it, because it was pretty much, that's what it was. It was the same old bullshit. And that's why shows like Jerry Springer, Maury Povich, and all these, the Steve Show, and all these shows, that's why they're so popular, because there's so much trash going on, and people love train wrecks. Well, I didn't do it for the train wreck. I did it because I truly thought maybe the guy would air his head out and get his shit together. I really did. Apparently not, though. Maybe he's, whatever he's doing on his latest family, I hope that's working for him. But you should just at least, how hard is it for a friggin' phone call to reach out to your child, and just say, hey, sorry, I'm a screw up. I know it, but I still, in my own screwed up way, love you, and I'm sorry for the past. Don't know where to start. That's the problem. He probably doesn't know how to start. A phone call here would fix that. But again, somehow or another, he got tipped off that we had last week's show, and so this week he's back to his old shit. I don't know, and he's disappeared. But if he wants to come on, he knows how to reach me. At least I think he does. I'm not that hard. Pretty available. I'm here for you. Speaking of here for me, 818-259-7983. Anything you want to get off your chest? Otherwise, I'm going to talk about a couple other things. But I really would rather hear what's on your mind. And you know what? This is what I just had. It just rang a bell. At the end of the day, everything I'm doing, because every time lately, I guess I'm getting soft in my old age, but everything I do, at the end of the day, everything I watch that's going on around me, it all comes back to nothing else matters but love. It really doesn't. It's like it all revolves around love. It's like hate, not so much. Love, the love for your children, the love for your spouse, the love for your family, your parents, or your, whatever. It really is all about love and happiness. And I guess some way, shape, or form, I'm going to take this show to where it's going to radiate that it's all about the love. Even when we have hard moments, it's because it's going to be hard because it's about love. I went through the hell I went through because of love. The love of my child. I loved my wife at the time. Things didn't work out. We went through hell, ripping each other apart for no reasons because you do stupid shit when you are pissed off. But it was the love of my child that held me together. And it's all about the love. Love is theme for every night in my show. If you want to talk about it. My show is all about the love. No matter what we talk about, everything circles back to love. And I used to make fun of Ringo Starr because he used to be peace and love, peace and love. The man's right. The man's right. He just figured it out before me. And then again, he's older than me too, so you get a little bit wiser, hopefully, as you get older. I would love to think that I have themes for every show. But my theme for every show is whatever you want to get off your chest. That's why I have a phone number, good or bad. That's why that phone number is there. It's for somebody to call in, and people have gotten worse at it instead of better. I used to get a bunch of callers. Now it's getting worse. Everybody types to me and says, Peter, I just want to watch your show. I love your show. I just want to watch. I don't want to call in. It's like, what the hell am I supposed to do? Talk, talk, talk. It's not easy talking for an hour, by the way, too. You better have something to say. And whether, again, I've said it before a million times, whether I have something to say or not is, up to you. It depends how you look at it. You're calling. I don't hear nothing. 818-259-7983. I'm listening. Because then I'm going to start in something. Oh, look at that stuff. Hello. Hi, you're on with Life of Peter G. Who's this?
Hey, it's Teens. What's up, Pete?
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Well, you know how I am. I've been bitching for about 50 minutes now.
I know. I just got on at the tail end. I've got you a couple times now.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want you to be talking needlessly. If I do agree. Dead air is a bad time.
My dear, it's never needlessly. I mean, some people you just can't reach, and some people are just too shy. Most of my people are just way too shy to call on the phone. I don't get it, but, at least they're watching.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. I'm not too shy. I just wanted to call and say, I'm watching.
Yeah.
You're doing a good job. I missed a little bit of it, but I didn't know what you were talking about when I joined. So I did say...
Joined the show tonight or joined in general?
No, joined the show tonight. You were talking about a guy that you had talked about in 2017, so I'd missed it.
No, 2019, but I had a father on who I saw I had somebody who I actually knew. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Florida.
All right, well, I grew up in Florida, and Florida's a real big part of my life. So I talk
I'm
a lot.
in the Panhandle.
Well, so was I. And,
okay.
And I grew up, and I talk a lot about it because I'm down there a lot, and I love it. And
awesome.
The fact that I'm in L.A. is just because I came here many, many years ago for music and stayed and did fairly well. But now I have a daughter that I'm raising here, so I have to go back and forth a lot. But I knew somebody when I was down there growing up in Pensacola, and he was a kid. And I gave him drum lessons when he was a kid. And somehow or another, 30-plus years later, through Facebook, he was on Facebook, and we found each other. As we friended each other, then I'd be watching him. I'm watching him do and say a lot of stupid shit. And so we started talking. I said, dude, you need to come on my... And then I had this show. So I said, you need to come on this show because I'm hearing just crazy stuff. And so he came on the show. He had the guts enough to come on. And and he was very apologetic. He said he realizes a lot of his mistakes through his past, and he's trying to do better. So what am I supposed to do? I couldn't beat him up because he's sitting there admitting it all. But he had a daughter that he doesn't talk to and a son that he doesn't talk to, and I wanted to know why. And we didn't get into that. But the fact was, somehow or another, the show rambled on, and the daughter caught wind of the show who lives in Georgia. Mm-hmm. And that was so the thing was, she started watching, and the mama of the daughter started watching, and so I'm watching them. This is the whole beauty of Facebook. People tell their stories.
It really is.
It is. So that's why I'm on Facebook. And so it took 7 months, but last Sunday night, I managed to get Nicole, the daughter of the father, on the show, and to kind of give a little, it's eating away at her. She may be 26 years old, but there's still that inner child that's like, why doesn't my father talk to me?
True.
So that was it. And then, lo and behold, the father's watching through an alias. Just stupid stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Now I get it. That's so cool.
It's cool, but it's stupid.
You facilitated that.
Well,
I know. Yeah, well, life is kind of stupid 50-50, but you facilitated that. And I know Facebook is kind of its own sort of evil, but it does have its good points. I mean, like, you and I wouldn't be talking without Facebook.
That's right. And I love, prayers when you're watching Facebook every single week, I promise you, prayers for my mama, something's going wrong with a parent or somebody passes away. It's a big deal.
It is.
It's a big
I agree. Deal. Well, I just called in tonight to let you know that I tuned in again for maybe like the third time, but we're Facebook friends and I support you. And I'm glad you took the time to explain the situation to me. That's awesome that you facilitated it, and I hope and pray that family, reconciles.
You can only
through
hope.
You.
It's not that hard. I mean, it really isn't. It's just what's so hard? Anyway. I mean, if you watch enough, you're bored, and you want. And again, things run at all different times. They run these shows on reruns, and this is a real small, tight knit show. It's just a couple of us, and we're just doing what we do. But I believe in it. I believe in my Facebook people, and people. You can tell they want to be heard. They want somebody to know that something is going wrong in their life. And a lot of times they're crying, and they don't hear the solution is right in front of them. But until they take it and say it out loud and re-listen to it, they just don't see the solution. So,
well, I'm proud of you.
Thank you,
my friend, my Facebook friend.
Thank you.
You have a great night.
You can call anytime you want. I love you for taking having the guts to call in. Okay.
All right. Well, my name is Teens.
Teens.
Yeah.
Got it. My teens.
All right.
All right,
Pete. You have a great night.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I love you.
I love you back.
All right. Bye. That's another one, people. See, Teens called in to say she's calling in because she watches. How hard was that? See? Take a lesson, folks. That's one. Again, it starts with one. It always starts with one. I'm not worried about 20 million. I really not. I make a lot of jokes. I don't care. I rather have 500,000 solid people than 5 million people who just don't care. It's just that simple. It's quality, not quantity. And that's my mantra, okay? It doesn't matter if people like your stuff and they don't pay attention. It's all false data. But the ones that follow, the ones that care, the ones that chip in and they contribute and they go, I like it because somehow in my own crazy way I'm making some kind of sense. Worth it. It's worth me the sleep I lose at night figuring out things. Believe me, I'm laying in bed. We're trying to work things out because we are on shoestring budget, hoping to go to another level. But in the meantime, this is how we work it. And I said nothing's going to stop me. It's real simple. I'll never stop putting out content. If you want to join in, I love you for it. Let me know. It's real simple. If you want to get something off your chest, let me know. It's real simple. 818-259-7983. Just call in and just get it off your chest. You're putting it out there on Facebook. Christ, you're showing me what the hell you ate for dinner. Who doesn't do that? You want to talk about your food? We'll talk about your food. If you feel it's important to you, it's important to me. Good morning. I see a lot of people. I got people all over the world. States. But I appreciate every single one of you. From the bottom of my heart. You don't have to watch me. There's a million other things for you to be doing. And I truly understand that. That's why I appreciate you so much. I have things. I got friends. We all have, life is fast. Okay. Oh, Lord B. See? Just when I get comfortable, it's low bandwidth. It's like, how does that happen? This is some of the things that's going to change in February and March. I'm tired of the thing freezing. And we're back. Completely lost everything. Either way, the bottom line is super grateful for all of you. And that's that. One thing I wanted to touch on, and now I kind of blew my timing. I had a couple people I was going to call. I don't know if anybody, who's a music lover and who's not, but on January 7th, we lost another great, in my opinion, legendary musician, drummer from the band Rush. I don't know if anybody listens to music, anybody even knows who Rush is. Maybe you have to be older, or they were, a Canadian progressive rock band. Love Rush to death. I can only tell you that this drummer, I've had many influences in my life as a musician, but this drummer taught me how to play odd time. I mean, he taught me so many things. I was a huge fan of his. I've learned from a lot of different musicians, but this drummer was just, top of the heap. And it bugged me that he passed away at 67 years old. I didn't even know he was sick. They did their 40th anniversary tour a few years back, and he was retiring out, complaining of arthritis. I mean, it's hard, man. The road life is not easy. I mean, you might look great on that 90 minutes on that stage, and it's a hell of a production, and but nobody knows what really goes on behind the scenes. You just don't know it. The traveling, I don't care if you're traveling private jets and this and that. It's grueling. And as you get older, it gets harder. It's one thing when you're in your 20s, 30s. I don't want to sound old or anything like that, but it's a bitch. It's hard. It's not for the faint-hearted. That's why, yeah, I know you're a drummer, but you're definitely not a phone caller. Nick, look at that. Just happened to be catching you right there. That's good, because I know you're always around, but I never hear from you. Yeah, RD40. There you go. I learned so much from that man. And I even got pissed off at him back in the 80s because I was standing right next to him and we had a little issue. And my father even spoke to him. Story. But the bottom line was Neil Peart was an amazing... He was just too damn good and a fanatic. He was kind of like an engineer of music, of the drums. Because if anybody's ever known any type of like engineers, like mechanical engineers, automobile engineers... you'll know that they're kind of anal. And he was anal about the way he played drums. And he had this massive... And to me, you can play a drum set. Sometimes it's harder to play a very small drum set because you got to try to make a lot with a little. When you have a really big drum set, it adds a lot of color, a lot of sounds and things like that. But he was the best of the best. He played a lot. I mean, but on top of that, he was a very educated, smart. Like if he wasn't a musician, he would have been a. Well, they called him the professor. He was very educated. He read a lot of books. He read, deep stuff. Their music is deep. I'm not one of those. Some people listen to all the words, and as much as of a musician as I am, I'm not the one who listens to the words deeply as like, what's he really saying? But thank God there are people that do. Neil Peart wrote some deep stuff from, science fiction to, the future, the past. I mean, he wrote some deep stuff, which now I have to wait till the man passes away before I start understanding him even more. Or maybe I'm just getting older. but he wrote books. When I was growing up as a kid, he was a drummer. I was learning that he would ride a 10-speed with a bicycle through Africa. When they were touring, they'd drop him off in the tour bus with a bicycle, and he'd meet up with them 40 miles away. He'd be riding that bicycle 40 miles or whatever the distance was to get to the next venue. And I've met up with him twice doing that. He'd come riding in on his bicycle. As he got older, he then transferred from bicycles to BMW motorcycles, driving a motorcycle all the way to South America. Who does that? He was just one of those guys, deep guy, and writing about his journeys. He's got 7 books out. I've not read one single one of them, but God willing, one day I'll sit and take the time. I'm not much of a reader, which is my bad, but some people love to read. My daughter loves to read. I'm so thankful of that. I never could sit still long enough. I just could not stay focused long enough. It's just the way I am. I'm a visual person. But the journey and the upbringing that this man has had is just beyond your average person. And I didn't even know it, but he had brain cancer these past 3 years. And he died right here in Santa Monica because he's a Canadian. Another thing, he had a past. And back in his past in the 70s and 80s, and the 90s, he was married with a daughter. Daughter dies in a car crash. Wife dies shortly after from cancer. Lost his whole family. How you live through that is enough to kill you right there. It's amazing. Strength, talk about inner strength. I never got to really, I would have loved, I didn't want to open up that can of worms. I'm sure it's in the books. But God, because you know what it is. Nobody wants to lose anybody. You can't even imagine that. You say I could imagine. I used to say I could imagine having a baby. When you have that baby, that imagination is a gazillion times stronger than what your imagination even is. It's deep. It's deep. It's why I'm here for this show. If it wasn't for my child, I wouldn't be doing this show now. I wouldn't have to. My whole life would have been completely different. But I'm here because I get it. And I'm here because I want to make sure you guys know that there's somebody out there rooting for you. Hi, my name's Peter. So anyway, Neil Peart, 67 years old. That's nothing in this day and age. And he died of brain cancer, and I didn't even know he was sick. I live in Los Angeles. I'm a little out of touch. My finger isn't as much on the pulse with the music scene because I've been so enthralled with this. But still, there's a lot of hearsay. How do you keep that under wraps? Somehow or another, they kept it pretty quiet. He died on the 7th of January, Tuesday, which was my mother's birthday. Now I'll put those two together. But they didn't release saying he passed away until Friday. And any of you guys know, trying to take a rock star or actor, actress, and keep something under wraps in this town, that's slim to none, and Slim left town. Somehow or another they managed to, and they announced it on Friday. 3 days later. Hit me like a brick wall. You just don't realize. I didn't realize. You don't know what you got until it's gone, right? Crazy. I wanted to call a couple of people who are, just radio DJ friends of mine from the Gulf Coast and talk about this, but I'm not going to do it right now. We're running out of time. They're already giving me Peter, you already got way too long-winded, and But you know what? Whatever I talked about later on earlier this evening, it was important to me, and I'm hoping that it's somewhat important to you. That phone number, folks, we're going to, again, having guests, I can have guests. Some days I just want to do the show all by myself. I got some things in the future I'm going to tell you about in my own personal stuff that has happened just recently within the past year. I've been holding back on it. It's not time yet, but I'm just saying that everybody's got a story. And I guarantee that even my story is something similar to somebody else's story. It's not groundbreaking, but it's something that needs to be talked about. It's just life, right? Either way, we're here every Sunday night most people chime in after the show. Don't forget that the show's going to be rerun through the week. It's run about 3 times at least through the week, during the week, because not everybody can stay up on a Sunday night. A lot of people said, Peter, I love you, but I got to get up early on a Sunday. I can't do it. Have a hard time getting guests sometimes from across the country, because if we're doing a call-in, it's midnight, 11:30 midnight when the show starts over there. So, you win some, you lose some. But I'll just keep on going. This is what we chose. We stick to our guns, and you know what? Never say die. I appreciate all y'all that are listening, been listening. Don't forget to share. The only way we're going to take this show to a streaming network is by letting the streaming network people know, like, where you been. We've been doing this for a while. Let's go. Move forward. Peter G. Show. Life with Peter G. The Peter G. Show, everything's on YouTube. Pre-record shows, multi-camera interviews, guests sitting next to me, little tidbits, little stuff, my friend Pepsi. There's all kinds of stuff that went on in the past. You can look all that up. Oh, and by the way, finally, after talking with Ty, my producer, we've had some big drawbacks on the podcast because all the shows used to go to podcast. I had to bite the bullet now. We are just starting, and I said that a couple of months ago, but now we still hit brick walls. But as of starting next week, all these current shows are going to go to podcasts on iTunes and whatever other platforms. Believe it or not, you just type in Peter G. Show Podcast, and a bunch of shows pull up from the past. But we're going to stay current with these shows every week so you can listen on the go. You don't have to watch. I know it's not a whole lot to see here, folks, but, I kind of like visual. Eventually, when I have guests, I think it's even better. I just like visual. If you want to sit here and watch, I'm inviting you to do it. But if you don't have time and you're in the car, you're traveling to work and this and that, and you feel I'm worth listening to because it's something of worth to you, it's all on the podcast. That's right, podcasts. Put your little earbuds in and just listen to the show, and you can close the phone and it'll still play and all that kind of stuff. Lots of different ways to get to this show. In the future, I don't know where, things are going to be expanding and changing. Lots of stuff changing. First thing I got to do is stop this stupid screen freezing from the satellite interruption. Pisses me off just when I get on a roll. Thank God we're doing nothing. I was just babbling and it stopped. But I hate when I have an interview and something like that because it won't buffer it and keep it. I lose it. I end up losing it. But we're getting better with that. We're getting ready to fix that too. We're finally figuring it out because we're at the mercy of Facebook's platform. Either way, I guess at the end of the day, all I'm saying is I truly appreciate all you guys for putting in the time and listening to little old me. All right? But all I'm asking from you is that you spread the word, because if you think that anything is helping you by any chance, not even helping, but influencing you, saying to where I'm worth the watch or the listen, share it, because there's a lot of people out there that don't even know they need this, and they need it. I promise you. I wouldn't do it if otherwise. Why would I bother? It's all good, okay? We're getting to that time, folks. Again, I want to thank my sponsors, Bolt Energy, because without Bolt Energy, they enable me to be here. That's right. Bolt Energy, no preservatives, electrify your senses. Ask for it in stores, because if you keep asking it to like the store people, they'll say, what is this Bolt Energy? I don't have it. Then say, you need to find it and get it because we hear it's good stuff. And it is. No preservatives. Enriched with antioxidants and vitamins. And again, my biggest thing is it tastes good. Electrify your senses. Go to www.drinkboltenergy. If you can't find it, and they'll tell you where you can find it or how to get it. All the above. Don't miss out. Again, life is short. Grab it by the horns and get you some Bolt Energy, a cleaner energy drink. They're workout fanatics, and believe me when I tell you, that was their goal, is to make a better energy drink. All right? And they believe in me. They were crazy enough to bank on it, and I said, you know what? I love you for doing it, and I will not let you down. Or my name is not Peter G. So until next week, guys. I'm not even going to tell you what we're doing next week because it's kind of a multiple choice, which we're firming up. We live that close to the edge. Every week is like I'm having to pick and choose. People back out on us. I mean, all kinds of stuff like that. It's like, oh, I really want to be in your show. It's like, okay, how about so-and-so? No, I can't do it that week. I got to wash my hair. It's like, come on. Let's do this. All right? Hey, Connecticut. Love Connecticut. Miss Connecticut. Throw a snowball at you. Anyway, all right. Yeah, I put the G in G. Don't be afraid to talk to me during the week, too. Leave me some notes, messages. But I want to talk to you while I'm on the show every week. Had one brave caller tonight. Teens. Anyway, let's do this, all right? I love every one of you. I really do. I told you. You're worth more to me than all the people who just hit the like button and just say, yeah. My true blue 3 or 3 million of you. See you next week, all right? Don't take no shit from nobody, but don't be a hard ass either, okay? Love. It's all about love. Try to remember that. Even when I'm at my most pissed off, I think I'm getting softer, as I said, in my old age. Or maybe I'm just seeing the light. Love. You can't put a price on that. You got to know it, all right? Peace out. Love you guys.
G-Show, Peter G-Show, Peter G-Show, Peter G-Show. Divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad. Peter G-Show.